And we're back to the fourth race of this tournament. I'm Hayden.
And I am Jared.
And I'm me.
Looks like we're in Dubai this time, in the UAE, starting off this new course. Looks like there's a lot more turns in this one. Not as standard as last time.
I'm excited to be here in Dubai.
Ah, yes, the fine city of W. Named after famous American President George W. Bush.
I don't think there is any accuracy to that statement whatsoever, but I'm going to go with it.
Hey, we've never claimed about being accurate. We don't pride ourselves on being accurate. We pretend to be accurate. So here we are, our racers again are Braden and Morgan. Morgan in the purple car, Braden in the NVIDIA. And the lone wolf, our boy Craig, number 1 in our hearts, number 32. And then there's Austin, the duster. And he's just dusting it on up and then back there in third.
So swiftly.
And you might even say robotic-like. And then we have, finally, it seems that's all we have for this race, actually. Adam apparently has been embarrassed by his performance, winning in last race. And it will not be competing in this particular race.
Looks like our drivers are still trying to figure out what they're going to qualify. A lot of them are slipping off the turns. This is a lot more corners than in a normal race, and they're still getting adjusted to this track. It's going to be quite a bit of a difficulty for them to know how to run this thing right after their last course where there was a lot of wide turns and just one big oval.
Yep, the ovally oval. But here it's the squiggly squiggle. And, Austin is back to his tradition of just beating the snot out of all the signs. What did that plastic do to you? Again and again. Oh, just rude. And it seems that Craig is attempting to avenge the signs by ramming into him. But he's not succeeding.
His front bumper speaking nonsense.
Now, one thing I noticed about this track is there's a lot less grass in this track. There's actually a lot of asphalt when they run off, so they're not going to have as much difficulty making those turns when they run off because they're going to get a lot more traction as they run off the course. Now, that does not necessarily mean that that's not going to be an obstacle for them, but I do feel like it's going to be a difference for them.
I definitely know that Craig and Morgan will feel a lot out of place without having any grass to buffer their shenanigans on the course.
Yeah, how are they going to win the Bob Ross Award for this race, Ethan?
Well, we've locked it in. I think that Craig has really solidified his lead in the Bob Ross Award, and he's made a lot of happy little trees. So I don't even know if Morgan can compete at this point, but I definitely know he's going to keep... Whoa, my goodness, he's just blowing the corners and smashing signs. There is no mercy here from the purple car. Back to the racers. We got some bumping and grinding going on down there. It's rivalry between Brad and Morgan.
So Braden and Morgan are still finishing their first lap, still trying to place that timing for that pole position. I'm not sure how well they're going to do on this, but we're about to find out just exactly how much time they made around this track.
Yeah, it's a very long track. I think almost 15 miles from what it looks like. And it's definitely what it feels like, regardless of whether or not that's true. So eventually they will finish a lap and we'll be done with qualifying. Who knows when that'll be? Hope that probably never. It feels like it's just carrying on and on. But that's okay. They'll get done eventually.
Here we go. We got our first positions. Looks like Morgan has placed his round in the pole position. He's going back to the pits. He's taking it at 2:05. Braden at 2:06, but he's going for another round to see if he can do a better time on that. Looks like we still got Craig coming in, trying to finish his time. And, of course, Austin about to make his way back into pit road and figure out what he's going to do.
I don't think he even made a lap, completed a lap. Oh, no, he's about to complete a lap.
He's finishing up right now, yeah.
We're about to find out, or we'll wait with bated breath here to see his time. Will he take the pole from Morgan to Oregon? And he does not. He is a slow poke, as they say in the Wild West.
Now here's Craig coming around. He's still trying to make his way around the last turn, so we're going to check in with him right as he comes in back into the finish line of pit road and see what he's figuring out. Looks like Morgan is taking his time back in the pits, maybe trying to make some adjustments on his car, trying to figure out what's going to work best for them on this track. Braden is still finishing his second lap, trying to make a better time than he did that first time to see if he can beat Morgan on that to take that pole position from him.
But I don't think he'll succeed. A second is quite a long time to surmount in racing. But he's trying. But I think he's braking too much at this point. He's just not going to get there. I don't even know why he's trying still.
Looks like Austin's also taking his position back in the pits. He's just working on his car and continuing to follow through with that. Only Braden and Craig are still back on the track trying to make their good time. Craig now going in for his finishing time. Let's figure out what he's going to take.
A close 3 minutes to third place. Only a few dozen seconds behind third there. That's okay, Craig, you got this.
He's gliding on the track like Fusion Pro Glide.
Not a sponsor.
Here comes Braden finishing his last turn of the race, trying to bring it in, seeing if he's going to be making a better time than his first lap. His time to beat is 2:05. Let's see if he can do any, or 2:06 actually, excuse me. Let's see if he can beat a better time than that.
Here at the W International Motor Speedway.
All right, qualifying is over. We actually didn't get in those results, but it looks like Morgan is still taking first with his best time. So Morgan's pole position, followed by Braden, Austin, and then our boy Craig.
And we're going right into the race here at the W International Raceway Derby. And we've got Morgan in the pole position, followed closely behind with Brad, the rad dude. And Austin is in third, and Austin the Duster is in third, and then we got Craig, the Brain, in fourth. And we're syncing here, and we're going to be about to be off. The red light, double red light, triple red light, green!
And it's go time.
It's go time. What are your feelings as the race starts, Hayden?
I've got butterflies for this race.
Butterflies. You might want to get that checked out.
Yes. But I'm curious to see who's going to come out of this alive.
I have a feeling, you know what? After last week, anyone could die at this point. The writers in this show have just gone off the rails. And it's anybody.
Looks like Austin kind of went off course a little bit. He's struggling to keep up with the rest of them.
Triggered by traffic cones.
Yeah, he really hates those traffic cones. I don't know what they did to him, but he just has a special predilection to smashing their conical little faces.
Morgan falling off the course a little bit, but still keeping his pace up in first place.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of that pole position and is maintaining his lead. Hopefully that can last for him. But for our sakes, so we don't get bored, I hope it doesn't.
The grassless plane may be giving everyone an advantage here today.
Yeah, no one's spun out yet. It's only the first couple turns, but we are waiting with bated breath for someone to do something exciting besides just drive. And here we go. We're looking at Craig here in third, and he's holding steady with Austin right behind him, the lean, mean green machine right there. And he's off the track. Oh, there goes Austin. Bye, Austin. It was fun knowing you. Oh, he's back, and he's raring to go.
It was all a part of his plan.
Something interesting to pay attention to is that if Austin pulls first or second in this race, it looks like he might be able to pull off this whole series. However, this is a wild card race. Anyone can be able to take this away. We're not really sure who's going to be able to win this because there's a lot of turns. There's a lot of things that can happen. A lot of drivers have been struggling in their qualifying to stay on the track. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen. However, we're going to pay close attention and see what's going to pull out in the end.
Yeah, now and then again, like we said in qualifying, this is a 15-mile track, so any mile could hold any number of changes. It's like the Wild West out there, just like W himself would have preferred it.
Looks like Austin's about to overtake.
He's just destroying signs. Oh, it's lap 1 and he has no mercy. Hater of plastic everywhere. I just don't understand it.
They're ready to go 500 miles.
And they're gonna roll that 500 miles. And they're gonna fall down right there at the finish line. And we've got, I believe, Morgan the Organ is still in first, and followed closely by Brad. And but Brad is losing ground on him, so he's about to fall victim to third and fourth, and they're gnashing their teeth to get at him.
Yeah, it looks like third and fourth position are really struggling to fight it out here. Austin's still pulling up in the rear, but he's trying to overtake Craig in this. However, they are right behind Braden, and it looks like Morgan's beginning to take somewhat of a lead. Not much of a lead, but he is having some time to get out in front of him.
Ooh, man, he Tokyo drift right around that corner. Boy.
Almost lost his control.
Quite a slide right there. And we've got Austin finally has overtaken Craig. It was quite a battle, but it seems that Austin has put the nail in the coffin, so to speak.
However, Craig is not that far behind. He can still overtake Austin. The problem is Craig struggles to stay on the course. Will that falling off the course be able to give him an advantage, or will that be his struggle in the end?
But here we just saw he boxed Austin off of his line, and
he just might get Craig the egg to crack.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's about to get scrambled all over this hot W Speedway.
Now we know that the temperatures in Dubai can get pretty high. We can get up into the hundreds of degrees. So these racers have to take care of themselves. They have to stay hydrated. They have to look after their bodies.
Oh, and Austin is just overtaken to the inside. No mercy from him. He's just going for it.
He's swinging around.
Gunning for number 2 up there, Brad.
All right, and in the lead, we have Morgan.
Good commentary, Hayden.
And it's really, that's all there is to say about Morgan the Organ. He's that exciting of a racer.
Looks like Braden's closing in a little bit more on Morgan, but he's still got a significant lead compared to the rest of the pack. No real struggle for first place right now. Morgan secured it for the time being, but we'll see how many more laps he can go with this security in that first place.
He truly is the Phillip Rivers of racing. That is certain. And, but we've got in second and third, we've got Austin and Brad, the eternal couple, the one true pairing, battling out for second. And who knows what's going to happen. I just know that there's about to be some bumpers flying. That's what I can expect from these two, right? I know that.
Yeah, Ethan, tell me, at what point in the race do you think that we're going to start seeing some spoilers fly?
Well, you know, right about the time that we start talking about Star Wars, probably then, you know, when Vader reveals himself as Luke's father, and also when we get around to talking about the ring, probably we'll realize that he's been dead the entire time.
Now, I haven't seen a lot of contact with walls in this race. Looks like the turns are pretty open. Like they're not struggling with hitting any walls at any time. That's usually the thing that's been breaking some of the spoilers off their cars right now. So let's just continue to pay attention, see if there's going to be any obstacles. But it looks like Braden and Austin are trying to close in that space on Morgan, and Craig's not that far behind from them either.
We got some. Oh, no, we got a spin out by Brad to the Organ. And they've just gone completely off the rails at this point. And I believe that is Morgan still holding on to the lead though?
Just barely. Just barely
by a dick hair's length.
He's taking him for a ride.
He's just riding the thunder. Oh, but then he takes the inside there over there. Brad takes the inside, loses to the outside, and Morgan is back in first. It's just a tumultuous race here at the W International Speedway. And but Austin, he's there lurking in the back, so jealous. You can see it in his headlights. He just can't tank it. He can't handle Brad swapping paint with another. It hurts his soul. You can see it just the blinking of the taillights and the feathering of the brakes. It's just hard to see there.
Now Craig's still following up behind. He's not that far behind. If there is some mistake that any of the other competitors have been able to undergo in this time, Craig could catch up, but he's still struggling. He's just not staying up with the pack like the others are able to do.
Yeah, he's only a few seconds behind, so that's just the slightest mishap. He's right back into the thick of it with everybody else.
Looks like Braden just took the lead from Morgan, but Morgan is not giving up. We got some spinning out here.
And then Austin, the two Loses are in the front now. Austin has put his jealousy behind him, so to speak, and he is gunning for Morgan's top position. And we're getting word from the pit crows is one of the reasons for Morgan's success in this race so far is he has figured out what the drift button is. And much like Mario Kart, he is sliding around those turns like it's
Austin's blinking.
It's nothing. Like it's the Children's Museum slide in wintertime.
Now let's take a look in the cockpit on here. Notice that there are a lot of controls that these drivers have to pay attention to. And yeah, it will make a difference in the race, what they're able to do and what they're able to complete on this and how used to the cars they are. This is an interesting track. There's a lot of variables to take into account for this, so they're going to be struggling this whole time.
Yeah, no, I understand there's like upwards of 4 pedals down there, so who knows what they are all for. Hayden, do you have any idea what they use all those pedals for?
I have an idea.
Well, please enlighten us while we watch Morgan take the first yet again.
Those pedals go to the metal.
Oh, yes, they do.
They're going to be kicking each other's tails.
Looks like Braden just took the lead from Morgan and is starting to pull away. Morgan's not giving up on that. He's still trying to stay in that draft and keeping up with him, but Braden has significantly gotten ahead of him, and now it's going to be a challenge for Morgan to overtake him yet again.
But you can see Austin's got jealousy in his headlights still, and he's lurking back there, waiting for a moment to strike and take Morgan out of contention so he could have Brad to himself to battle it out.
Our boy Craig is continuing to keep some significant difference behind these 3 racers ahead of him. Now, that might be a smart move that, if there's any kind of wreck that's going on, he's going to stay out of that type of crowd, but that doesn't necessarily mean that gives him an advantage, especially if these racers are going to continue to keep this lead ahead of him.
It almost looks like he's hanging out in the back, keeping an eye on the other competitors, but he doesn't want to be involved in the mess.
Well, that trio has been known to get pretty rough and tumble up there, so it might be a pretty good strategy.
Looks like Austin has overtaken Morgan finally. Nope, never mind.
He got boxed out, I believe, and he left in the dust. The Austin the Duster is now Austin the Dust. And but Morgan is taking advantage and pulling ahead, widening the gap and closing in on Brad. But Austin his jealousy runs strong, and revenge is a dish best served on hot rubber.
Do you think he's about to sweep this dust under the rug?
Oh, indeed he is. He is about to bust those bunnies right down under the couch. And but Brad is still in first, and he's holding on steady there. He's a full 1.5 seconds ahead of his closest competitor. He's still got his spoiler, surprisingly. I would have thought it'd be gone at this point in the race, but not a whole lot of contact, like you were saying earlier, Jared. Not a whole lot of contact with the walls. People are scared of them. I understand there's rumors that there are invisible spikes on the walls that could impale you if you do hit them, so drivers, watch out for that.
I had not heard of that rumor, but that really changes things. If there's going to be some invisible spikes on the wall, then definitely these drivers are going to want to hang out away from those walls and try and prevent any contact with them. That may be why they're playing it safe during this race, Ethan.
Yeah, and here, well, no one's playing it safe with the plastic, that's for sure, because plastic is wrong and it's bad for the environment. But here at the W International Speedway, rules are very lax as to safety precautions that they take. And some might even say they take safety uncautions. As the racers enter lap 6 here, Brad has really solidified his lead, doubling it almost. Oh no, Morgan's closing in on him a little bit, but Austin is just way far back there. Whatever Morgan did to him in that turn really must put the
It appears that Austin's having a battery issue, and he's gone out of control for a second there, but he's back in this race.
Oh, he got a little spark plug gap or something, right there. He's just got that swapped out real quick, but Craig is still in last. He's trying.
He has made some distance catching up to Austin, but he's still maintained that same distance from the lead. Looks like he's still going to continue to struggle, but with Austin falling behind, if he's able to catch up to him in this time, he might get that bump draft that's going to allow him to get that extra edge to try and catch up to the lead.
I always say if you're not bumping and grinding, you're probably losing. And we've got a pretty close battle up here in first and second.
Morgan's making some decisions here.
A little swerving around the turns. But Braden is still in first, but just barely. And Morgan is looking to cut off some turns and make up some ground. Yeah, no, he's still just falling steadily behind. Brad is a very good racer, so it would be surprising to see him lose the lead here. But Morgan was coming in hot there on the straightaway, but almost too hot.
Yeah, it looks like he struggled with braking around that turn, and now that's going to cost him a little bit.
Oh,
Morgan!
no!
Wow.
He swerved out into the wall. Oh, he's back in third. It's now Austin in second. He's still swerving.
Looks like Craig's able to try and take that third position away from Morgan. Morgan has fallen back to last. Looks like Morgan's kind of lost his hope in being able to catch Braden. However, now Craig has a partner to be able to bump draft him and continue to give him some edge to get caught up to the front.
But Craig goes wide, not taking advantage of it. But back to the front, Braden now has a sizable lead in first because of the mishap of Morgan. But Austin is going to be coming in hot with no one between him and his, beloved. But, it could be anybody's race at this point. There's no telling how much Petroblast Austin consumed beforehand. So he could be pretty wired at this point. And, you never know. He might lose control and go all out.
While he consumes Petroblast, he continues to demolish the polyethylene pileup.
He has no mercy there for the plastic. He will not rest until all plastic is destroyed in the entire
And look at
world.
Morgan.
Morgan,
Sweeping around the corner.
making up for last time, is cutting some corners, and you know what? I'm proud of him. All right, well, and Morgan wanted to just catch up with Craig just to mess with him a little bit. Hasn't got a chance to interact with him much in the race course, so he wants to get a little bit of a bump and grind on him too. Show him a taste of what it's like, what Morgan the Organ is known for.
What do you think Morgan's organs taste like?
Probably like purple.
Yes.
And so we've got Austin and Braden up there, the one true pairing, of course, first and second. It's not unusual. It's pretty typical of these races.
Looks like Austin's made up some ground on Braden, is getting into bump drafting zone. That may give them an advantage to be able to continue to pull away from Craig and Morgan, who are continuing to fall behind in the back. Now, Craig and Morgan, now that they're getting close together, they may have that advantage, but not if Braden and Austin are continuing to keep this draft together and giving them that extra edge.
It appears Morgan is cutting some corners again in an attempt to catch up with Craig. And so Craig does the
Pow, right in the
opposite
kisser.
of cutting corners.
Oh, looks like they both spun out. That's going to cost them some precious time.
Yeah.
They sure will.
I don't know if they'll be able to make up this time at this point, but there'll be a fierce battle for third back there. Oh, Morgan takes third, taking advantage of Craig's long time to recover, and taking third from Craig.
He will not take his eyes off him.
Oh, but back in first and second, Austin has almost completely closed the gap. It's down to only a tenth of a second almost, and Austin is about to overtake. They've swapped paint again. It looks like they've made up from their previous little spat about the Brad's affair with Morgan earlier in the race. So they're swapping paint again, and it's good to see them make up like that. They are always a fun rivalry pair to watch.
It sure is. Who do you think will come out of this?
I know that both of them will come out happier just knowing that they can finish the race like this together. Nothing could possibly happen to change them finishing 1 and 2.
What a
Oh,
no!
no!
We want Rampage!
Oh no!
And Braden has spun out now.
Austin apparently had other thoughts and did not forget the argument from earlier and is taking the bumper away.
Taking the whole spoiler away, too, Ethan.
He definitely spoiled the end of Game of Thrones for Braden there. It was probably Bran. It was him all along. And anyway, they're back to the race. They're neck and neck right now. Austin's just raring to go. He wants the first. He can taste it, but Brad will not yield it to him. Oh, and Austin goes wide. That's a bold strategy. He seems to have lost a lot of ground. Oh, but he's made it up. They're back into the turn, and it looks like there was almost some contact, but Austin went too wide. And Brad is holding on steady.
But he's inching closer as we look at Craig.
Craig's only a few seconds behind Morgan right now. Hopefully he can manage to finish something a little bit higher in fourth today, because I really had high hopes for him on this track. I'm here at the WM International Motor Speedway, and he's making the turn. He's just he's just sticking in there, and we're all proud of him here up in the booth. He's one of our favorite racers to watch. We could just sit here and watch him crash into the walls all day. And up back into the first and second, and Brad is still in first, but it's barely in first. Austin could overtake at any minute now. But you know what? I almost think Austin's toying with him. He wants the chase. He wants to feel the adrenaline. But he's toying with him no more and is in first now. And it seems like he's slowing down and attempting to block Braden out. It's a bold strategy. Most people would have just run wide open, but he's a little prideful and wants to stick it to Braden even more.
Now it looks like Austin's beginning to try to take a break away from Braden, but Braden's not giving up. He's continuing to keep that gap as close as he can and continuing to bump draft to make sure that they maintain that closeness and being able to compete with each other in this. If any of them pulls away, one, that's going to create a division that's going to maybe even turn the tides of this race, but two, if any of them pulls away, that's going to maybe slow them down a little bit. Now we know that Morgan and Craig are continuing to fall behind too much to be able to really catch up, but that might buy them precious time.
Yeah, now some freedom to not be bothered by first and second. But what's really going to get us into trouble is when first and second start lapping third and fourth. Because some real shenanigans can start going on then. Especially because Morgan, I believe, is frustrated. His car has just not been handling the way he wants it. And he could very well take it out on the next car he sees.
He just might, but he's ready to shenanigan.
And, but speaking of shenanigans, we're back up here with the one true pairing, Braden and Austin. Never could dream of them being separate. So they're just going at it together. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just finished the race side by side.
Looks like they're entering their last lap, or at least they're running out of time to be able to finish another lap. So we're going to be able to see whether Braden or Austin can really pull this race off together. Morgan and Craig might not be able to pull it off, but we might be able to see a battle for third to see if any of them are going to be able to overtake each other and try and compete for their standings in the finals.
And, yeah, but it's not quite as a close battle as first, though. They're just a little bit too far apart. But, you know, they might still make something happen. But checking back in with Braden. We've, oh, wow, they're real close together. Austin is just right on his heels right there. Just licking him a little bit. Just touching him with his tongue. Reaching out. Just a little bit of, and, but it's not enough to distract Braden, unfortunately. So it's not working for Austin. It's not a very good strategy.
They're staying awfully close to each other. If they make the right turn, one wrong move could occur and mess up their whole plan entirely.
Now that left race was all about left turns, and I just want to point out there that now that they've incorporated right turns into this race, that might make a difference that a lot of them haven't really been used to. Now they did have their qualifying race, they were able to get used to the track, but it's still a turn every time.
Oh, and Austin is overtaken and appears to be preparing to leave Brad in the dust, being the duster.
Man, they are neck and neck.
Oh, it could be anybody's race as they come down the final straightaway.
Depending on their position, it's righty-tighty or lefty-loosey now.
Well, they have definitely been getting loose on the turns.
Now, it looks like Braden's going to fall out behind, but is he going to be able to pull out in front of Austin in this turn?
Well, the problem is the switchbacks of the turns, the inside track just changes so frequently no one can maintain it. So it's really anybody's game. It's all about who has the faster car, and I got to hand it to Austin. At least his car is still intact.
It's so close, but it looks like Austin's going to just be able to barely pull it out in front of Braden, and the race is over.
He wins.
Oh, it was a close one, just a dick hair's length. But Austin pulls out the win at the W International Raceway.
Morgan's probably going to take this up in third. And Craig's still continuing to follow back behind in fourth. Looks like with Austin winning that first, he might just take this series. We'll continue to check in when the points come through and make sure that we report our official responses right when we get all that information.
What's this?
Wait, what's this? Morgan has braked on the finish line.
Could he be contemplating?
He will not cross it. He is waiting for Craig.
Craig's stalking.
But Craig went real wide. He disappeared off frame. Oh, there's Craig.
Oh!
He handed the race to Craig on a silver platter. Thank you, Morgan.
We had
Morgan,
to turn away.
You helped our boy feel special. Oh, wait, no. Craig still came in fourth. I'm sorry, my boy. You just weren't good enough. Better luck next time, Craig. Better luck next time.
Well, thank you all for tuning in with us. We appreciate you continuing to watch our Motorsports Network, and we encourage you to join us for future races.
This has been Ethan.
And this is Hayden.
And Jared.
Go out there and vroom real fast, folks.